the Middle East, Crusades into the Middle East for all times has always had problems. But what the enemy and the Antichrist has shown these modern leaders is that, oh, we have the technology now, we have long-range bombers, we have bombs, we don't have to go through there with horse and cavalry and so on. And we have ways of delivering supplies to the troops and so forth, and the whole variety of other arguments that presented. But first of all, when you're trying to crusade into the Middle East, you have to see that why it failed in the past. There are principles that you could apply anytime. So the principles that operated then to cause the Crusades and other things to fail are still in operation today. And the environment is hostile. First of all, God said that these people, the descendants of Abraham's son, not Isaac, but Ishmael and others, will be hated by others, and they will hate others. They won't be controlled. They're indomitable. And so it showed up right after the world organized. Egypt organized things, and then Babylon came on and knocked them off. Then Medo-Persia came and knocked them off. And then, of course, Greece came on and knocked them off because probably they became too, what's the word? They became very complacent. And if I remember correctly, I better not go there. But anyway, so, and then Rome, and then Greece, and Rome, and then Germany, and all them down the road here. So the principle of you can't, God knows what he's saying. So that Napoleon and all these people went down in the Middle East and discovered stuff. You get in, you got to fight your way in, you got to fight your way out. You also have problems with supplies because the supplies got to come just so you came through. You got to fight to bring in the supplies. You got to fight to go back to come back again. It's so much of crap, and it don't seem as though it's worth it because what's the point in going on Crusades? Of course, they wanted to control the world and they wanted to spread their own religion down there, so they had a sort of spiritual, they say, reason to go down there. So now today, it's a little more complicated because I believe that the enemy, who is not the Muslims nor America, is working in such a way to make the Middle East the burial ground and to precipitate the end of time, the end of time, and so their little reign, they want to reign the new warlord and the Antichrist and them and so on. So when you think they're your friends and they're plotting you to go in, and they're just sending you into serious problems. They make it look so nice. Well, we're going to support the Spring Revolution, and this man fighting it, we should go in and stop him and let the people rule. That is kind of like the Soviet Union rule, and we need to support the rule of law. Whether the government has been here forever or however they've been appointed, why not suggest that, the way to go is the legal way and let us see if we can set that up and so forth as opposed to this thing they're doing. But the bottom line though is this. The downing of these drones is significant because while the Bible did say that these ancient civilizations will be superior to these modern ones, this technology is new technology, and of course Africa can't figure it out. But God did not say that Africa will be so indomitable. They talked about the Arabs and perhaps Abraham, because of Abraham, whatever, God is in there doing something. I'm not sure it is, because he's protecting Hagar kids, because it's an unfortunate situation. The devil came in and tried to scuttle God's plan, and so on. Now, what I believe is happening is that the enemy, the one who really wants to come on and rule the world, realize that if the whole world collapses, no problem, but if America does, it's a problem. Okay? And going into this place, apart from the fight, let me look at this thing. Down in the drones suggests to me that they have information and experiences that a lot of people aren't expecting. If I recall correctly, sometimes they said that these people were interfering with satellites. So there you go. So modern warfare today is based on satellite, satellite guided bombs and GPS and all this kind of stuff. So if they do have the capability, and I think they do, because the enemy is in everywhere, he's in everything that's important. And so, he has that information, okay? And it passed on to them, or they have people, specialists going in there to do the job. And this war starts, and they interfere with satellites and get them out of whack. So it means that commerce is going to have a problem, banks have a problem, communication have a problem, everything that's reliant on satellites is going to be a problem. Much so the war. The bombs, you fire them off so, and then they trick it and come back and blow up someplace else, and you have a problem with that. They're downing all your planes and so on. So, you need to find like how they know this. That's the war we should have. I mean, I can't believe that in a place like America we allow foreign organizations to come in, get nestled in our Ivy League schools and in our society. You join that, you could get up in life and so on. And these things are controlled by the enemy. So, you just tell one of these boys, man, I got you that big job and that nice woman and that cash. I need you to help me. I need this kind of information, bro. You know what I mean? And plus the company manufacturers also, they want to go to the next level, so they gain all this 1 year quick. You know what I mean? So it's so complicated. So I think that this 2012 prediction these people had of this awesome chaos based on the Mayans and the Nostradamus and all that stuff, I think that was just a hoax. Just like a campaign. There are things that would make it happen if we go on some crusade into the Middle East. And you see, a little back up here. This secret society and this kind of like Antichrist New World Order people, they have people everywhere. And although from getting also secrets, they have people who are on Wall Street controlling the stock market. So all they have to do is come in and say, something, the stock market went up 5,000 because of this news here. But these guys made a mistake. This manager lied, and so he's fired or he's tried in Congress and sentenced to 50 years in jail. But they're going to reverse that 5,000, and then they can come back and say this and that and whatever. You know what I mean? And something with war. And I don't know what's in the past, but today people are so kind of like fickle. They also have, these people, I don't know where to start. These people have everything under control. They have the family under control. They have the economy under control. They have religion under control. They have the politicians under control by these sort of lobbyists. They have the war machine under control. They have sports under control. They have education under control. They have everything under control. And right now families are hurting. We're not marrying again. People having kids outside of marriage because of people not having the skills they need. Marriages are falling apart because the woman can't cook. Whatever. Okay. Then we can't get along because she wants to have her own way. She wants to have a boyfriend, and telling you, I need this boyfriend sometimes when you're not here. It's like all kind of stuff going down. They're conditioned now to be like beasts. So instead of being compassionate to the kids, they strangle them and killing them. Education, you go to school, you just learn. You don't even know nothing. Religion is just a bunch of jokes. You raising your hand and swaying and them kind of nice, sexy little war music and so on. So the world is in a bad place today. So that I admire the president is putting America first. And I have another video I'm gonna make on putting America first. It's dangerous. But he was called to the job, and he's doing well, and God's going to protect him. You see what I'm saying? So I think 2012 and Iran and these drones, there's something mysterious and sinister about them, and we just have to hold on. If people like war and they want to go to war, man, I can't stop you. Okay, just let 2012 pass. Okay, don't go into nothing major in this year. Next year perhaps, and show them that this prediction was just a bunch of malarkey. Don't mind how to bend your hand, just bear it, okay? And next year, just avoid this stuff, man, because the end is going to come for the world, but it doesn't have to be as brutal as they're trying to predict. It is establishing by how it's going to be, but for you and me, it doesn't have to be that way, okay? So if I go out and I smoke up drugs and I do all this stuff and I end up hurting real bad, then I'm fulfilling the prophecy, yes, but I didn't have to go that path, and still the end would have come. You see what I'm saying? So let me watch and see if this 2012 is really. But then again, we know from up front these psychics, Nostradamus and others, and then Mayans and pagans. How can they tell us anything that's going to be reliable and valid anyway? So right there, we know that it's not going to happen. All we have to do is go and do what it's saying. All these little wars over in the Middle East with this kind of spring revolution stupidness. There's democracy and capitalism we want. Try supporting them, you end up, creating and fulfilling these bogus prophecies. And if you're fulfilling the devil's plan, that might be saying something about the whole deal.